This is KCCK's Culture Crawl, and my guests today are from RHCR Theater Troupe based in Cedar Rapids, about the upcoming production of Little Shop of Horrors. Say hi to Janelle Lauer and Matt Ford.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
So, Little Shop of Horrors, one of my favorite shows. We were talking off camera. My son did the show in high school, and this was in fact the first musical I took my family to.
Wow.
And for a while we would go, we'd see it wherever.
Yeah.
TCR did it a couple of times, took them to that, college would do it, a high school would do it. So this is, I just love this show. So my first question usually is, what made you decide to pick this show? But of course, the reason is because it's everybody's favorite, right?
It is everybody's favorite. You can speak to that, Matt.
Okay. Well, I am not everyone in my family can tell you I'm not a musical person. I cannot sing for the life of me.
People outside of your family can tell you that.
Yeah, that's true. But I remember seeing the movie first back in the 80s when I saw it in the theater when it came out. And why? I don't know. It had a big, giant man-eating plant. Who doesn't like that? And the guy from Ghostbusters. So, I wanted to see it. And when we were talking, the production team was talking about what adult musical we should do this year. This show came up for a bunch of different reasons, and one of which is because somebody had already floated by the idea, hey, what if somebody did Little Shop of Horrors by this one sitting next to me? And she said, oh yeah, I'd be interested in doing that. And so coming from someone who's not musical, I knew I needed to get an absolute expert and professional to do the music side. So that's what was one of the easy reasons to choose the show, because she's so good. I knew that part would be covered. So, and that's
You just talk about me like I'm not even in the room.
Yeah.
A lot of times when we talk about very familiar musicals, especially musicals that have been, on the movies and things like that, we'll talk about somebody who had an iconic part in that, and talk about the challenges of trying to recreate a part that, that millions of people have seen on the movies or on stage. Now, we kind of have that situation going on here, because the part of the voice of Audrey to the Plant will forever be identified with our friend Doug Jackson.
Oh, I know. And I keep thinking I wish that he was still here. Although the kid that we did cast as the Plant is named DJ.
No kidding.
Even though he's a white kid from Alburnett. But yeah, he's great. He's great. And I always think about that whenever I'm listening to DJ sing in our show. And I think, I'm sure Doug is looking down going, all right, my Janelle, you just get in there and do it.
He would, he would be the first to say, knock 'em dead.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think it's easier because our DJ, the young DJ, he is so young. He is unaware of really who Doug Jackson was or is. So he doesn't have that, I'm trying to live up to this certain... he doesn't get it yet. He will get it here next week, I think. But he doesn't understand, which is great, because then he comes in with his own fresh approach, and she's able to help mold him more easily, rather than him trying to emulate or copy somebody else's performance.
For those who don't know, Doug did the voice of the Plant at 3 times, I think, to my knowledge. If not a couple of more. That and Jim and Huck Finn were probably his most well-known roles. He was the go-to guy up and down the corridor
for sure
for this part. So we, of course, still miss him a lot. And you are actually donating some proceeds to his theater troupe.
Yes, because Doug's family founded a theater troupe at the Boys and Girls Club, which his widow tells us that he was very involved with the Boys and Girls Club, so he had kind of started mentoring and helping kids there with theater, and try to get them at an early age, start with the introducing them to theater. So we are donating a portion of our proceeds of our show to the Doug Jackson Theater Group at the Boys and Girls Club of Cedar Rapids.
Talking with Matt and Janelle about the upcoming production of Little Shop of Horrors, which opens the 20th of October, yes? At the Scottish Rite Temple in Cedar Rapids, and we'll talk in a couple of minutes and give you the website and phone number and stuff so that you get tickets. This is a very recognizable musical, and it's one of those where kind of a lot of times the props, the puppet and the costumes, tend to carry the show just a little bit. What do you do, Janelle, with your actors and helping them bring something new and different to the part when a lot of it is kind of prescribed by the script?
Well, it's interesting that when you have really smart actors, you can take those iconic moments or the things that people remember about the movie, for example, and maybe the way that they speak or the way that they move, and pay homage to those, but at the same time create something new with these new people, because they're so willing to throw in and do something different, and so willing to try something that maybe isn't normal for that role, which is great. I mean, we have a whole cast of those people, which is fantastic. So,
What's your favorite moment in the show so far?
my favorite moment oh my gosh, Charlie Von Presley as the dentist is absolutely hysterical. Wouldn't you say? Oh my God, his laugh. Well, there's no way anybody's not going to be crying from laughing so hard in that part.
Last night, his dentist song was compared to a performance from Magic Mike.
Oh dear. Well, that is bringing something a little different to the role.
I didn't do that. That's not me.
No, I don't know. There's such little moments that parts of the show that I guess if you're a writer, you love your show, but being just a director, there are parts of any show that I'm like, okay, I don't care how this has been staged or how it's been constructed, but then this cast has been able to add these little things to even parts of the show that I didn't care for that make it just hysterical. Mushnik and Son, I don't want to ruin anything. That song is not in the movie, but it is in the stage play. The actors, Aaron Brewer and Troy Powell, it is. I'm just going to say it's extremely funny what they've done with this song.
There's
Very
quite
good.
a few things in the musical that aren't in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even the plot itself through the stage show is not the same as it is in the movie.
The ending is
right.
The ending is different.
And that's all we're going to say about that.
That's
is
all
it's
we're going to say
different.
about that.
It's different.
And it is different than the ending of the original movie, which, of course, was a non-musical kind of a B horror flick. May have been one of Roger Corman's first.
I
It
think
was
you're
Jack
movies.
Nicholson's first credited role.
Jack Nicholson's first appearance. He was one of the dentist patients who
Which
gets
there aren't
killed.
any dentist patients in the musical.
Right.
But it's completely different than that. People who love the musical, the stage play, will love the show. People that love the movie will be like, wait, that's not right.
It's something different.
Yeah, it's something different.
But it's okay.
I mean, we've done research and, test audiences, and executives rule the roost in Hollywood, and they didn't like the ending of the Broadway show. So they changed it for Hollywood, and we'd prefer the stage play Broadway version.
Well, as I said, I've always loved this show from the day I was like 11 and watched the original movie on a late night creature feature. I was scared and laughing at the same time. I didn't sleep for weeks.
A giant man-eating plant. Who's not to love that?
Who's not into that?
Right.
So the show is Little Shop of Horrors. It is coming up the weekend of October 20th at the Scottish Rite Temple. Matt, how do people get tickets?
They can get tickets at the door. We do, since it's always a question, we do take credit cards. We're a smaller organization, but we do take credit cards at the door, or they can get them online on our website, rhcrtheater.com, and that's R-E, not E-R.
All right. Well, sounds like a blast.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, you guys are going to have a lot of fun with that. Little Shop of Horrors at RHCR Theater. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis, for having us.